Hi, it's the 5th of August 2012, and I'm Bernie Goldbach, watching the Sunday news, reading the Sunday papers on youtube.com stroke Topgold. Looking at some images from the Olympics to start with. Annalise Murphy, finishing well enough now to be placed among the top four of the Olympic Championship award-winning medals. Keane O'Connor doing really well, leading into the major medal phases of horse jumping. Rob Heffernan standing tall, walking tall as he does. Some sad stories of crashing out of the women's triathlon. Aileen Morrison. And the Sunday Times goes into a lot of these really excellent photos. I watched the victory in the women's pentathlon. And what you're looking at if you're watching on YouTube is the face of the world leader, Jenica Ennis, above my position on the Golden Road. Did really well. And Mo Farah, watched him run that entire 10K. Led behind or on the shoulders of him all the way around is Galen Rupp, his running partner from Oregon. We got relatives in Oregon, and the mountains of Oregon are training locations for a lot of really cool Olympic winners. I'll just go through the Sunday Business Post really fast. On the front page, revealed how the state pays top prices for cheap drugs. Susan Mitchell has a story over the scowling face of the health minister about generic drug manufacturers are authorized to charge the state up to 98% of the price they pay for original branded medication, and that's why you're not going to save a lot through pharmaceuticals. The sidebar of the Sunday Business Post deals with really old news, and this is typical August in Ireland. So if you're watching or listening to me and you're not from around these parts, you know you got a typical story about tackling on the football pitch, distant danger from up north, an obituary from last week, and rewarmed technology. Come on, guys. Well, it's August, so new news actually doesn't appear in many Irish papers. Bottom right-hand corner deals with the Enterprise Ireland 250,000 SWIFTs fund supporting women in fast-tracked startups. I wonder if Whoop.ie, one of Martha Rodder's gigs, is part of that mix. They deserve to be. Property levy is going to have sliding bands. You can see where I am, living in Cashel County, Tipperary, Ireland, would affect us more than another concept called a site tax. Ian Keogh says that according to intelligence they have from Phil Hogan, who's the environment minister, the decision to make, there will be as many as 25 different bans for the new property tax. And that's his leading consideration. There are issues, and the Sunday Business Post points out the issues with that kind of an approach. Remote control for heating. Householders could soon be using mobile phones to control their central heating systems. You can do it now with Arduino and some SMS technology I've seen from years ago. Boiler remote controls in customers' heating systems, allowing you to turn it on and off with apps. What's underway with several of the large energy providers in Ireland. South Dublin County Councils may have residents clear snow from their past. John Burke says that the South Dublin County Council is looking at legal advice. I've got a lot of paths outside my house. You can kind of see them if we're on YouTube right now. I think they actually deserve to be cleaned by residents and not by the council, mainly because people stand in front of my house waiting for buses and taxis, and if I clean the path like I do, well, I'm not going to get any joy. Joy from Sarah Ward, head of sales in Google, and Owen Sullivan, digital and social manager of Board Gosh, as they outline the campaign to bring JetWord to Google+. Paul O'Mahony may listen to audio booths when he's done in France. Be advised, Paul, if you're in the country August 8th, that's Monday or Wednesday, JetWord's going to take over the Board Gosh Energy Hangout, Google+ Hangout. By that point in time, if you want to join a hangout on air with them, you have to have answered correctly several questions that they have on Board Gosh Energy. And they're kind of obtuse for some teenager, preteen to answer. But hey, it's happening, and there's a lot of good buzz on Google Plus in their account, the Board Gosh Energy account. Good buzz between the guys at Treasury Holdings and NAMA. No way. Samantha McLaughlin has an inside story about how Treasury and NAMA fell apart. And actually, the most revealing information is from Richard Curran, business editor. He's pointing out that, you know, what's happening behind the scenes in Treasury Holdings is actually a few big players, primarily Johnny Ronan, who had personal guarantees for some of the loans, trying to negotiate certain kind of schemes with different investors through his solicitors, and these different full-page News Focus article points out that a lot of these things just didn't happen because of the give and take with the terms agreements. They just weren't there. 2 pages about Gaming Nation in Sunday Business Post, bucking the trend. And basically what they're doing is looking around, talking to different executives in the Irish gaming industry like David Coughlin and Tony Kelly, Enterprise Ireland funding for the technology sector, where we discover, where I work in Limerick Institute of Technology, that you could actually foster an entirely new crop of companies with their own new gaming software, their own new games, as opposed to simply providing third-party assistance to established players. Irish firms are serious. In Seattle, they gave this story over to Paul Hayes, who works for the NDRC Launchpad, where they try to source out people who are interested in new companies in Dublin. Main sponsors for this big event in Seattle included PopCap, Big Fish, and Swerve. We are also involved in that. I wonder if Phil Burke, who I work with, went there to Seattle. He's been there several times. Microsoft's a big player, as you would expect, with Xbox. And one to watch, we're identifying in this News Focus article the Digit Games Studios, a young company with big ambition. They want to become Ireland's largest independent games company. Talking about 15 current vacancies right now. It's a Dublin 2 property, or Dublin 2 company. If you want to work for this and you're watching me as a former student of LIT, well, Digit Games may be the place to go. You may be watching the swimming. Actually, is it over? I think it's over by now. I really liked Earl McCarthy. I intend to connect up with him, however it may be, but it won't be on Twitter. He's pretty busy right now, working on a PhD coaching at UCD. And but I like his perspective, like his analysis. When compared next to the old head, Bill O'Harley, Earl really has his stuff together. Digital media gets distilled, writes Siobhan Brett. Kind of an inside story, because a lot of the people that work with the Business Post are friends of the Daft Media or Distilled Media. Brian and Eamon Fallon of Distilled Media did big numbers on property site Daft.ie. Now, when you look at all their properties together online, they rank 5th in Ireland after Google, Facebook, Microsoft Network, and Yahoo, with properties that include the Journal, Boards.ie, Average.ie, and so forth. Good stuff. God, they are a magnet for trolls, though. And I'd like to see the Journal doing more stuff as opposed to just copying and pasting stuff that's currently been written. But hey, it's a good site. Full of trolls, however, in the comments section. New this week in the Done Deals section is an SME series on RTE. 20 small businesses selected from around the country to appear on Shopping from Home, a television program. Month-long broadcast package for the winners. 45 minutes of footage, free filming of post-pro public relations and social media. Galen Curran, Focus SME Ireland guys, I think they might broadcast or just mention this. Some of these firms would have been selected already. Ronan Lyons has some really, really good stuff about property tax. The way Claire Heek says, and he's an economist a lot of people respect, is just to use the site value tax. So we do really well here where I'm standing, but not really well if a large home that we're in, like the one you see on YouTube right now, is the one that's assessed. We'll probably end up getting stuck for the value of the property plus the value of the land that it's under. But as Ronan would point out, there's a lot of problems when you just do that, because if we increase the energy efficiency of this house and thereby increase the value of it, we're gonna get hit for tax. Lack of a property tax means a great opportunity, Ronan would argue. Don't go down the path of going to property bans. Go with one that works. Pull it right out of the site register and off you go. Finally, the end of the Sweetheart deal, well, actually it's not finally yet, one more thing I want to point out. End of Sweetheart deal says the opinion section of the Sunday Business Post, they want to get rid of allowances that the guards get, the teachers get, and stuff like that. I wish they'd add one more thing to it. Reduce the mileage allowance for TDs to start with, because that would affect counselors and civil servants alike. Take some of the pain from the top and then go after the allowances at the bottom. Finally, Vincent Brown saying the charm offensive from Sean Quinn's not quite working. And he lays out perhaps the best column of inside politics I've ever read in Sunday Business Post, primarily pointing out something I've spotted watching Sean Quinn on air. It's really impossible to focus on what he's done as being illegal, because he thinks the whole system's out to screw him and his family, and he doesn't think that's right. Okay, we're going up to Dublin. Joachim Illich, if you're there, we're going to connect up with you. We'll be powered along the ways by some O2 and by some 3 MiFi. I'll give you a sight and sounds of outside of Ireland, where I'm standing, Cashel, County, Tipperary, Ireland, Rock Cashel in the distance, with fog-shrouded overhead mist hanging in the air. I'm Bernie Goldbuck with more pictures at flickr.com/Irish Eyes. You can follow me on Twitter, where I live under the nickname of Topgold. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye for now.